back on PlayStation 4's launch lineup. How many games are available, the quality of those games, and see if it will really stack up to what we're expecting on PlayStation 5. Now, if you remember the PS4's launch lineup, and even the first year of that console being out in the market, then you may recall the general consensus around that being that it was fairly underwhelming, and this happens often with console launches because there's just not a whole lot to play in that first year, or it doesn't feel like the library is not that large because it isn't. Although if you do compare it to PlayStation 5 and what we know for the system's day one titles, and even that first year, PS4 starts to look even worse than it actually was, although inherently PS5 has afforded certain opportunities that PS4 just was not going to get in 2013, and we'll dive into all that. But let's start with Sony published titles, that's first and second party. These are games that the platform holder is backing on day one, ready to go, and it's supposed to be your incentive for purchasing their hardware on day one. So let's actually start off with a big one here, Killzone Shadowfall. This was initially revealed during the PS4's announcement back in February 2013. This was the nearly 2-hour long conference Sony held announcing PS4 as a platform, not showing the console, but announcing the key features, principles behind designing the platform, a little bit of the UI. We saw first, second, and third party take the stage to announce games, new tech, and some of their hopes and dreams for the platform, and Killzone Shadowfall was one of our first party games that did arrive on day one for PS4. And Killzone is an established franchise in PlayStation history, goes back as early as PS2, and actually there's not many PlayStation franchises that stretch across PS1, 2, 3, 4, and now 5, but Killzone does reach most platforms, and so this is a long-running IP that you expected on PS4, and we haven't seen one since the original 2013 release, so it is somewhat obvious, but I think even Sony is well aware of this. This franchise did not have the staying power with consumers that they would have really liked. Otherwise, we would have had another entry in this franchise by now. And that's not even so much a matter of, you know, Guerrilla Games wants to go and do something else like Horizon Zero Dawn. If this IP was important enough, Sony would have fielded out to another developer and given it a different home, just like how Microsoft found a new home for Halo after Bungie left, right? If this was a large, important IP, they would have continued doing that. So it's not really to say that Killzone Shadowfall was a bad game, but it